Podcast starts now. Wow, what's up, everyone, and welcome to StraightioLab, the official podcast of fall.
Can't believe we're back in studio.
How does it feel?
You know, so I was late to studio today. I'll come out and say that, and I'll say it openly, and I'll say it not proudly, with shame, filled with shame. I'm on the verge of tears because of how late I was. And guess what? You know, we got a text that said, "Oh, your guest is running 10 minutes late." I said, "Thank God." Wouldn't you know it? He was running approximately 6 minutes late, and I actually got here the latest of all three of us.
Yeah, it's true.
And the way that I feel like I have a red A stamped on me for a little late.
Sure.
Much like the Scarlet Letter.
Of course.
If anyone didn't get the reference.
No, we all got it. Yeah.
So some people might be more familiar with Easy A, which is sort of a modern day adaptation with Emma Stone.
Yeah. So the A on your shirt was like Easy A.
Easy A.
Which is based on Scarlet
Letter, but for me it stands for a little late. And I feel like I'm going to pretty much have to work extra hard during this entire episode to overcome my reputation of being a little late. What do you think?
I don't think, first of all, you don't need to worry. This is obviously your like self, branding. You're like beating yourself up. It's honestly that's actually worse than being late, to be completely honest. And
being
a little
like
late.
Self-flagellating is worse than being late. You're 100% right. It's something I've had to unlearn my whole life because, we're taught to shrink ourselves as LGBTQ.
But I think your story might inspire others who are running a little late, and I think you could become a voice for that community.
Well, what's difficult is finding the right balance between sort of like owning it and not being annoying, and then being fully inconsiderate, where you literally like walk into something 40 minutes late and don't even address it. And you're like, can I have a glass of champagne? Jesus, where is the waiter?
Yeah. I mean, you got to find the middle ground, because if you're apologizing too much, like, you're doing this for you. This is selfish now.
Well, I actually think this is an area where there could stand to be a bit more nuance, because I think the two camps are either apologize or never apologize, diva. You've never done anything wrong in your life.
So what's the middle ground?
I think there needs to be a full book about how and when to apologize. And I think it needs to take into account basically all social science research that has ever been done.
I have a question. When people do a favor for you, how do you take it?
Okay. This is interesting. What are the you're saying? I mean, obviously, I say thank you,
because you can either be like thank you, and then be like, okay, I have to do something for them. I see. Like, this is so much. Like, how can I get this back? Or you can just accept it and be like, thank you, and you move on. Because
right.
I think I'm a little too good at being like, thank you, and then moving on and like fully accepting the gift.
Yeah.
It's
a trap.
I was built to receive gifts, and I'm good at it. But some people really freak out and feel guilty and can't enjoy the gift itself because they're so busy apologizing for receiving it.
I would say recently we had an experience like this. So I stayed with your parents in Michigan, and I was horrified because because of our travel schedule, I didn't have time to get them just something to bring, which it might be the only time ever in my life that I have shown up to a house empty-handed.
Okay, listeners, if George has ever stayed at your house and not brought a gift, make some noise now.
Please comment.
Us.
Honestly, I would love to know, because I will send a gift after the fact. But and then you were like, it's literally fine. They're not going to care. They're not the types of people that care. And I'm like, there's no type of people. It's just simply what you do. And then of course I was like, oh, I'll send them a thank you note after in the mail. Guess who has not done that and has no plans to do that anytime soon? Me.
See, I think these formalities sometimes are like an arms race. Like it's stressing everybody out. Like, I'm sort of like, my parents don't care. Yeah. And in fact, I almost think there's a world in which, and this isn't true, but there's a world in which, and there's a fake world in which it's rude to provide a gift, because it's like it creates a formality where it is like, they want to almost be like, you're my son, like, you stay with her, of course you can stay.
But I'm like, no, I'm a stranger.
I'm a stranger.
This is a business gift. I brought you a bottle of champagne.
You're essentially a hotel to me. And I need you to remember that.
I'm like, where's checkout?
And can I move it to noon?
Okay, no, it is of course a battlefield. Yeah. Or not a battlefield. What's the thing in Finding Nemo where they explode? Minefield.
Oh. I would have never, ever referred to that.
Minefield. Any questions?
Oh my God.
My point is, it's like, it seems so simple. You're like, oh, there's these social rules where you bring a gift. But it's like, what if, I'm not saying this would ever happen, but it's like, let's say I brought it's like, let's say someone came to my house and brought a $500 bottle of wine. I'd be like, okay, well, that's actually rude. I mean, you're almost like showing off about being able to afford a $500 bottle of wine. I'm not going to take that well.
Yeah, I think it's complicated. The way I like to stay with someone is, and I actually am bad at this, I realized while we were on our little tour, is that I love to stay in someone's house and just not need anything. Like if there's not a towel out for me, I won't ask for one, and in fact, I will not shower. Like if there's not a cup, it's like, okay, well, like I won't open a single drawer.
I don't want to call you out, but
I will use a water bottle
with the towel.
No, they did have towels.
Oh, they did have towels? Because I was like, I think at some point, and again, there's no judgment here, but I think at some point you weren't sure if there were towels. And I remember you talking to me and you were like, so I'm not going to shower. It just did not even, you're like, well, if I ask them for a towel, that would be akin to saying your mother's a whore.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been disrespectful because it's like, okay, if I'm asking for a towel, then yes, I should have brought a bottle of wine, but I didn't bring a bottle of wine, so I don't get a towel. I was like, this is how it works.
Okay, here's my question for you, and I'm sorry to keep digging deeper. Did you end up getting gifts for anyone you stayed with?
I don't believe in gifts. I did buy lunch. I bought drinks, that type of thing.
Yeah.
That's sort of how I give back to my community of people that let me stay with them. And I think that's valid.
Absolutely.
You're so judgmental.
No, I'm just sort of going through my Rolodex of what gifts I got each person that I stayed with during our tour.
Oh my God. You know what? And also they're like, okay, what am I going to do with this?
Sure.
It's like, I can't have another mug in my house. If someone gave me a mug, I would have to throw one out.
You were like, okay. So you were like, what should I get the people I'm staying with? And I, off the top of my head, was like, you know what could be sort of fun? And we were at the time, like, go get like
okay, you're doxing them.
We'll believe it. I was like, go get like a ceramic mug, like something that is too expensive for someone to get on their own, but would be a nice object to have. And the way that suggestion landed with a thud, you made no facial expression. You were like, anyway, so as I was saying, should we get coffee?
I'm not going to get a gift. Okay, I also think, like, when you're in a place for such a short... We were there for, like, maybe 24 hours.
That's a good point.
And also, it's a driving town. And it's sort of like, okay, I don't have a car. Like, how am I going to go? Am I going to Uber to a store to, like, pick them something up and then, like, get it back before dinner?
You're absolutely right.
There's no way.
There's no way.
So, sorry to...
Gifts are out.
Gifts are out this holiday season. Instead, buy someone a drink, buy lunch, and that can be helpful. That's a gift.
Yeah. Venmo them $10. That's really kind.
Actually, and sometimes when someone's doing me a favor and I actually end up like, okay, one time a friend was like, oh, I have an extra ticket to this concert. And I was like, and they were like, do you want it? And I was like, sure. And I was like, let me buy you dinner to like, and she was like, okay, perfect. And like I bought dinner and drinks and blah, blah, blah. And it was like, okay, that actually ended up being way more than the concert ticket.
This is sort of...
And you still get the credit for being like, the person that gave me something.
Well, this is sort of my resistance to the buying dinner, buying drinks thing is there's something concrete and tangible about being like, I bought you a candle. And even if you actually end up spending more money on dinner, it won't be remembered as a gift. Because that person, think of all the time someone has got you a drink or gotten you dinner. Do you actually think of that as something that you remember later on?
George, I remember every time anyone has ever bought me, especially dinner, I remember each and every bite of that meal. And they were so infused with love and generosity that I couldn't forget it if I tried.
Wow. Well, I don't, so you're going to have to get me a gift next time you stay with me.
He's a gift queen.
Should we bring in our guest?
I think we should, and I think we... introduced our podcast to our guest in such a beautiful way where we said, we're going to do an intro and it's going to be a little bit longer than you're going to want. And I think that is true.
Yeah.
And I think we should bring him in to discuss.
Yeah, I need his input now.
Welcome to the podcast, Joe Pera.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Joe, I noticed you didn't bring us a gift.
I'm sorry. I did cross my mind when I left the house. I should have picked you guys something up.
Where do you stand on our debate?
I'm pretty big on bringing baked goods. I feel like...
somewhere in the middle. It's a gift, but still food.
Yeah, everyone loves a baked good.
Yeah, I guess that is the middle ground, maybe. I'm kind of surprised. I thought I don't know. Sorry, I thought you'd be showing up with a bouquet of flowers when you go someplace.
Okay, but it was hard because we were traveling. You know.
Well,
What I mean?
in Sam's defense, the one city that we're talking about, I actually also didn't have. That was the one city where I left a note that was like very, very profusely positive, and then made a note like, that's a friend of mine that's going to visit New York. When she visits New York, that's when I'll get her a gift. And I felt very ashamed to leave. And I didn't even buy her a drink, to be clear.
No,
so
that's
yes.
fine. Did you invite the people you're staying with to the shows?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
That's a gift.
I think that's something.
With these prices?
Well, the people I stayed with actually did buy tickets, but that was before I was going to stay with
Yeah,
them.
and guess what? Same.
Damn, that sounds bad.
You offer them just a little too late so they get the ticket
Literally.
numbers up.
And then not just that, but then at the end when I was like, we were trying to sell some tickets like day of, and I told my friend, if you have any friends, we have a lot of comps left. And she was like, oh, cool. Would have been nice to know when I was buying my tickets.
I feel like on the touring is something almost different because they know that it's like a work thing. If you offer them tickets to the show, don't clog their toilet. I think you're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can leave and feeling okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you clog the
No,
friend's toilet?
I didn't actually.
Do you usually stay with people, or do you guys ever do it
We
like
were doing mix
Airbnb?
and
We were
match.
doing mostly it was majority hotels, but there were 3 cities where we stayed with friends.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we did this thing where we were not making very much money, but we were pretending like we were.
Don't say that. Bleep that out. We were
Why? I
making
think
a
it's
lot
funny.
of money.
Were you said to posting photos from the hotel nights and loving it? This hotel.
It was penthouse after penthouse.
Listen,
we
were
were
making-
presidential suite.
If
after
you had told me
presidential
3
suite.
years ago we were making as much money as we made, I would have said, I can't believe that.
You said, I can't believe someone lives off that. And
And look at us now. Our full-time job is touring our podcast, and we're billionaires, and you can be too.
Yeah, and here's how.
Nice.
Do you stay with people when you're on the road?
Sometimes, but when the shows are too close together, I will end up maybe doing the hotel because then you have to play. If you're not given a gift or something, you at least have to be guest and like entertain them after. Stay up, talk late into the night, make them feel like you're, connecting, and then, well, no, that sounds really superficial, but you gotta
No,
give
no,
time
but
to your friends that you don't
You have to
see.
trick them into thinking you're really friends.
No,
That's what you said, I think.
no, but you gotta spend some quality time, and when you're really tired, it's nice to be able to have a drink after the show and then be able to go to bed and not stay up because I'm a pretty sleepy guy.
Yeah, I definitely would have described you as such.
Thanks. It's not a bad thing, but like, yeah. Did you have any late nights where you were kind of like, I'm ready to go to bed after the show, and you had to keep chatting?
Well, it wasn't other people's pressure that made us stay up despite being tired.
No.
I feel
Nice.
like
We put
were
the pressure on ourselves.
Yeah, we were like, I'll never be in Seattle again. Let's go buck wild. And which isn't true, but I do have a scarcity mindset with being on tour. Because I was like, okay, there was part of me that was like, this is only fun if I'm reckless. Like,
We were not so we were doing this thing actually that I feel like I do a lot in my life where I can't commit to being either safe or reckless. So I sort of find like the compromise that pleases no one, where I'm like, I won't stay out too late or have too much fun, but then say yes to like a shot, and so then I'll just still be hungover the next day.
Yeah.
Or like I'll stay in, but then decide to watch a movie, which means then I'll stay up late. Like it's like I sort of want to be like either be a rock star or be like a mom.
yeah. That's the new binary.
Yeah, it points to the futility of centrism. Like I'm trying to find a center place that I think will be like the best of both worlds, and it's in fact the worst of both worlds.
Feels like you either get your energy on tour from keeping the party going,
Yeah.
the two Bert Kreischers over there, or by
No one's ever called us that before.
oh really?
Yeah.
That's what. I told people I was doing the podcast today. It's like, well, same as hanging out with two Bert Kreischers, pretty much. But
Should we pop our shirts off really quick? Or?
That's okay. I would if you guys do, but it's up to you. I'll let you make.
Yeah, maybe at the end.
But it's either that or you kind of gotta, conserve the energy.
Yes,
you either
energy.
get it from getting proper rest or from keeping the energy going.
See, we get our energy from being sort of constantly in a state of mild frustration, I would say. I think that's what powers
I
us.
actually think that's true.
Yeah, I think for both of us, that's true.
Yeah, if we're not a little annoyed, we're dead.
Yeah. One of Sam's favorite things to say is that he's grumpy.
Yeah.
That's nice. It's good to put it out there so everybody else can be careful, right?
It actually is really refreshing, I find, because sometimes someone will be in a bad mood and it's almost, you don't want to mention it because you're like, maybe they're mad at me or whatever. But I actually really like it when I'll see you and you'll be like, I've been really grumpy today. And I'm like, oh, great. So if he's in a bad mood, I know that that's not on me. And it's already setting the stage for the kind of and by the way, you never are actually as grumpy. You never act as grumpy as you say you are. So it's always like a positive surprise because you're still sort of in a generally good mood.
Oh, that's
yeah,
nice.
It's internal. I'm smiling on the outside, but I'm crying on the inside.
Those Midwestern guys stew inside, and then
It's true.
I remember have times where I felt like I've apologized for like being in a bad mood and nobody had any idea at all.
Yeah, well, it goes back to our thing about apologies. Do you feel like you're someone that apologizes a lot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's okay. I feel like better to feel, I don't know, not feel bad, but be cautious about upsetting people. And I don't know. I'm probably too far.
Well, I want to apologize because when I introduced you, I didn't mention that you have a stand-up special out currently. And that is so rude of me, and I'm a fucking idiot. And
No.
It's
I
true.
actually noticed that we didn't say that.
And it's like,
And of course I came late, so I didn't even know you had a comedy special.
And in fact, do you want to like say it? Like, do you want to say what it's called?
Yeah,
Like,
it's called Joe Pera's Slow and Steady. It's a new stand-up special based on the past year and a half of touring, and basically all the comedy I've ever done kind of got finally put together in a stand-up special. And I talk about, I guess address the fact that everybody's been calling me Dahmer the past year. The fact that
they have.
Well, I
I
so
talk
we
about
had
other stuff too.
Kelly Conaboy, who was one of our writers at Gawker, interviewed Joe about it.
Wow.
And I can't remember if I edited that piece or not, but that was it's one of our most high performing pieces that month.
Wow.
It was just unfortunate. It's like a show I probably never would have watched or thought about.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like every person I haven't talked to in a while is calling me up and say, "Hey, guy on Dahmer show looks and sounds like you."
Did you watch that?
Oh,
Sam?
he talked like you too.
Yeah. It was.
Oh,
the voice.
wow.
So it's weird. I guess he had the Milwaukee accent and a Buffalo accent.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's also 1 minute of addressing the Dahmer thing, and then 55 minutes of saying how weird was pandemic.
Damn, I've never heard that perspective before.
Yeah, it's so true, and yet so now.
No, just kidding. There's nice jokes. I talk about squirrels a bit and making cubes for your boys, and
Sure.
You've heard that one, but
Of course.
I retired it and then realized I liked it so much I wanted to do it, and then you've probably heard a bunch of it from shows and mics and stuff.
Well, if that's true, then the whole world's in store for a big treat.
Got a little peek into the Brooklyn open mic scene.
Yeah, you got big references to people that no one knows.
I wish. Do you ever play that game with anybody? Me and Dan play, like, name a comedian, and
It gets toxic quick.
Wait, what game?
Like just naming like open mic comedians from 2014 and just sort of like until you forget, like until you run out of them. And even like trying to reconnect all the circles.
I've never heard that game. That is so funny.
It's very Nick Nanny coded.
that's a good way of putting it. But Dan and I went to high school, so name high school and try and think of the most obscure person who the other person hasn't thought of in a while, and then it's just that connection makes you laugh.
Damn.
That's inside.
When So, we are often compared to Bert Kreischer because we keep the party going on tour.
Yeah.
And because we're really wealthy.
And because we're really wealthy and love to pop our shirts off. Do you get referred to as Bert Kreischer because you're a stand-up who is straight?
Every day.
Yeah, so number 1 is Dahmer, and number 2
is Bert Kreischer.
So yeah, if you blend the two people, it's my stand-up.
That's so true.
Kind of.
Yeah.
No, it's nice. It's kind of soft, and there's the last 15 minutes I do like the talking the audience to sleep live with the musician Ryan Dan that I work with. So it's like a nice, easy way out if you want to watch it late at night and kind of have a wind down at the end of the special. So that's the pitch.
I watch a lot of TV to fall asleep, and it would actually be really inclusive if they made it so that it would help me fall asleep. Because what ends up happening is actually the 30 Rock theme is really loud.
And actually a lot of theme songs are really loud, and they need to cool it.
But I will say especially the 30 Rock one. It's so loud, and it wakes me up every time, and I'm like, I'm trying to sleep.
So every 30 minutes for a new episode, you're
literally.
It's 30 Rock again.
And it doesn't wake me up enough for me to actually turn it off. So I'm just waking up, I'm like terrified, and it's like, Alec Baldwin. And then I go back to sleep, and then 30 minutes later, same damn thing.
Wow. I've watched The Simpsons to fall asleep, and it actually puts me to sleep so fast, it's kind of scary. Like, it's like there's something subconscious going on there where, like, it actually took me a long time to actually watch it because I kept falling asleep, not even on purpose.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because you've seen all of it all the time?
No, it was my first time watching it. I just couldn't stop falling asleep.
Yeah, he's seen the first 2 minutes of every episode.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What do you watch to fall asleep, if anything, or listen to?
I put on some audiobooks and I was listening to...
Oh, God, I would struggle with that because then you don't know where you left off the following morning.
The key is to kind of like listen to ones where you can lose gap. Like I've had a full history of China that I was listening to.
Wow.
Well, that's such a long history. It's like if you miss a few hundred years here and there, who cares?
Right. It all goes back to a few things that.
Yeah. No, that's true. Okay. So a history book.
Yeah, or a biography where it's like, some of them are a little bit bloated and you could skip events and you wake up, you get the main points in it.
Yeah, maybe The Power Broker.
Power Broker.
You know what I think actually would be the biggest scandal to hit your career is finding out that you actually have a lot of trouble sleeping.
I do sometimes. When I'm working on the sleep material, that's when I have the hardest time because I'm thinking about it. So it's like a creative, I don't know, when you guys are writing stuff, it feels like when you get caught in a mental problem or writing a joke or a project, it's like that's when you can't turn your mind off the most. And that's when I used to kind of fight against it, but I've really had a nice time waking up at 2 to 4 a.m. sometimes and just sitting in the kitchen, reading something or eating peanut butter and hanging out.
All right, now we're talking.
And
it was like reading.
Yeah, and not fighting against that is a nice thing.
I've been wondering, I wake up a lot at like 3 a.m. and like really stressed out.
Yeah.
And I am like, should I just embrace it and just like sort of be awake from 3 to 5 a.m.?
Sometimes your mind is real sharp from the stress and you could do good reading or writing and then you get it out and then there's no pressure on your morning because you already did it.
Okay.
There's just the
Joe Pera technique.
I'm trying. Yeah, no, I prefer to sleep through the night, but that's what I've kind of figured out in the past few years. But it was like when I was writing the TV show that I did, Joe Pera Talks with You. Couldn't help wake up from the stress at like 5 a.m. and I would go to a grocery store and walk around, and that's how the one episode came about. Or getting up, bro. I don't know. Just sometimes you're gonna be tired, like tour, and you gotta roll with it. And then that's part of the fun. And you get a little goofy with the sleepiness or angry, and you get the legendary StraightioLab fights on the road.
Yeah. All right, I'm all in.
Did you guys ever? Sorry, you have to.
Please.
No, please.
Were there any tense moments on the road, or?
I mean, knock on wood, unless you can think of one.
Nice.
I was like I don't want to say I was about to say I was shocked by how smoothly it went. I was not shocked. I knew it would go well.
Yeah.
But the fact that there wasn't even one thing was sort of crazy. I'm like, we were both on and off, like, in bad moods and good moods. Like, surely at some point I thought it would be like a bad, there would be some bad chemistry in some way, and we would like need a break or something. But I don't actually think we had that.
No, we were good at giving each other space.
Yeah,
that's great.
And there was one thing where George kept getting upgraded on every flight.
Oh yeah, that's true.
and gaslighting me into believing it was an accident every time.
I mean, I maintain that it was not. I didn't do anything, but there was a point where Sam was like, "You are doing something behind my back.
A button.
Like you're clicking a button that I don't see."
Is that why you think that you didn't make money on tour? Because he was like clicking on this upgrade to first
using our joint account to get first class seats for every
He's like,
flight.
"Oh my god, I got free champagne!
Oh my god, I can't believe this." So you're sharing a room with a college student, and I actually got the bridal suite. It's so weird. I've never even been here before.
You should check the credit card statement and see what's going on.
Something was up.
Well, there was, when you book the flight, there is a little thing you can check that's like, do you want to be upgraded if an upgrade, is available? Uh-huh. Did you see that when you were booking?
But don't they charge you for the upgrade?
No.
But who wouldn't want to be just freely upgraded?
I'm just saying, I checked it and it worked for 3 different flights.
We got to check the bank statements. You were getting charged every time. I'm sure of it.
Okay, it would actually be crazy if I was getting charged every time.
I'm sure of it.
No, I was not getting charged.
Joe, you see what you started?
Sorry.
Now we're having our first fight.
Sorry. Yeah.
And the thing is, honestly, I'm so bad at keeping on top of things like that if I did get charged, I would probably not find out for like 3 months.
Yeah, and by then it's already over.
And by that, well, the secret to spending money is just wait, and then you'll forget that you ever did it. That's sort of my big
George's big secret.
That's George's big secret is like, if I'm Susie Orman, I'm like, let me tell you something, kiddos. And then my big secret is that, like, if you spend money, just sort of try not to think about it. My mom once told me, and when something bad happens in my life, I just don't think about it.
Damn, mental health legend.
It was actually crazy, and she said it fully in earnest and fully, like, with a straight face. And she was like, anyway, should we go to get lunch? And I was like, damn,
I love that.
Yeah, she's sort of iconic.
Yeah.
Should we do our first segment?
I think we should. Joe, our first segment is called Straight Shooters, and in this segment, we're going to ask you a series of rapid-fire questions to gauge your familiarity with and complicity in straight culture.
Oh, boy.
It's basically just this thing or this other thing, and the only rule is you can't ask any follow-up questions, or we will scream so freaking loud, it'll be louder than the 30 Rock theme song.
Wow. Great job.
Thank you.
You're going to be confused, and you're going to think you're doing it wrong, but you have to just trust your instinct.
Got it.
All right, Sam, take it away.
Okay, Joe. Shut Up and Drive by Rihanna, or Listen and Learn About My Trauma.
Shut Up and Drive by Rihanna.
Joe Pera Talks With You, or Joe Manchin, Shame on You.
Joe Pera Talks With You.
Okay, a no judgment zone or a repugnant hoe.
Repugnant hoe sounds more fun.
Wow, I've always wanted to hear Joe Pera say the words repugnant hoe.
Thank you. I'm going to throw that around 20 more times today.
All right, Joe. White fragility or Pink's agility?
Ooh.
Pink's agility.
Yeah, she's real talented.
It's really amazing. A fail compilation or a kale salad station?
Fail compilation. Sorry.
Love is a battlefield, life is a highway, or God is a DJ?
God is a DJ.
Wow, Pink wins again?
Pink stays winning.
Pink stays winning, mama.
Okay, Joe. A cow goes moo, a duck goes quack, or a guy goes, ooh, let's listen to Massive Attack.
Duck goes quack.
That's the perfect choice, honestly, of those 3. Okay, X marks the spot, Liza with a Z, or why are you yelling?
Why are you yelling?
Yeah.
I'm sensitive to noise.
Yeah. Joe,
Wow.
So we rank our guests on a scale of 1 to 1,000 doves. What do you think he got?
I think duck goes quack, just that part is 1,000 doves.
Well, there was a part
That's
where
the single.
You were really listening to yourself, And, I thought that was so powerful. You weren't being swayed by our tones, our giggles, our eyes. You were just you were looking inward and saying, what does Joe Pera want? And that really is impressive.
I think there was some continuity in that he chose pink twice.
Yeah.
I think there was the one unexpected answer, the repugnant hoe, which that's sort of like your provocative political single. That not everyone in
won't
the
age
Midwest,
well.
It won't age well,
yeah.
but it's important.
But it
made
time.
a splash,
Yeah.
and you're going to be on the cover of sort of one of those cool fashion magazines.
Yeah.
Doing something crazy like putting 2 middle fingers up while being covered in caution tape. And then what were the other ones? And then Quack, of course, that was like, okay, that is Joe Pera.
Yeah. I have a question I've always wanted to ask Joe Pera.
Sure.
Who's your diva?
Yeah, Joe Pera.
Joe Pera.
I'm really enjoying
diva?
saying your full name.
Me too, actually.
What is, of all the women pop stars, who would you go see live? Price is no issue.
This is who I was thinking about because I woke up, I went to get coffee this morning, and they were blasting Robin, and it was a little too early for Robin, but I was just thinking this morning, you saw the performance she did on Saturday Night Live where she was like rolling around on the stage, and it was like, that's I think I want to see somebody rolling around on stage.
Wow,
and
the way that is the perfect answer.
I'm sure there are other ones, but that was what struck me this morning, and I thought, that was cool. You never see Taylor Swift's going in a digital swimming pool and stuff, but
don't get started.
Robin is rolling around on stage and having fun, and I don't think that you could ever see that kind of like just unreserved joy or goofiness coming from her. I know this is gonna make me some enemies, but
no.
But I just feel like it's just goofiness and having fun on stage that is so cool to watch. And I don't think you get that.
No one has ever accused Taylor Swift of having unencumbered joy and goofiness. So far, but there's still time.
Of course,
maybe next album,
next era.
Maybe next album I'll feel joy.
Yeah.
Well, I like that because this you have the sort of upstate vibe going at all times, and you forget that Joe Pera is a Brooklyn chica who loves an alt queen like Robin.
Yeah. Wow. Well, next time she's on tour, we're taking you.
I would love to.
We're all doing Molly.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go to the concert, and then maybe I'll look away from my drink for a little bit. You toss it in there.
Sure. You just have to pretend like you don't know.
Yeah.
So, Joe, I think it's time to get into our topic, and I really want you to say what your topic is, maybe describe it a little bit, and then maybe give us a little bit about why it's straight.
I'm sorry, it was a little lazy. It was just on my way out the door today. I had my other hat on that I usually wear, and then I thought, this is the straightest hat I own, and that would probably be the funniest to wear. Something about these hats with the mesh back. It's like every Taylor Sheridan show. They put the country guys or the guys who are the guys who are out riding the horse. They're wearing like these hats, and I don't understand it. But I've thought, well, you guys are doing the intro. Maybe it's because like when for super straight guys, when they see a woman in a bikini, it's the horniness, and they don't have time to, it's just they got to let all the horniness go right out.
Oh, I see.
It's kind of
it's ventilation.
Yeah.
And for anyone listening at home, this is sort of, it's like when hats have mesh in the back. I guess traditionally I associate that with a trucker hat.
It's a trucker hat, but this one is a little bit it's like a baseball hat, trucker hat hybrid, I would say.
And I think that is part of what makes it straight too. It's very like, it's like when pants are high tech and it's like bike to work pants or something.
Yeah.
Like there's something about it where you're like, is it optimized for perfect sweating?
Right. And I don't even know if it's real, but it's like every guy in the movie who's, doing like farm work or in the military doing something, or like off-duty cop, they're just like, they do this when somebody comes up to talk. They take the hat off with the mesh, and they go, all right, what you got for me? Or why are you bothering me today? Who do I gotta murder? Or
Wow, this is
more.
this is groundbreaking. Actually, the concept of hat acting.
So, and again, for anyone back home, I know I'm ruining the sort of flow of the pod, but I want to make sure everyone's following. Joe took off his hat and then wiped his brow with the back of his hand, and that's like something a sheriff would do.
So yeah, I don't know. It just feels like you see this hat on like the guy on Tulsa King,
exactly,
and it's maybe it's a showbiz. I don't know whether that's from showbiz's perception of guys who work on a farm, or it came from that, and the whole
chicken
fashion side.
So totally chicken. I mean, a hat is a way in popular media. It's a way to denote blue collar. It's a way to denote working class. It's like this guy. He has his nails are dirty.
Yeah.
Right. So when I was touring with Carmen Christopher, we had a day off in Montana. Wanted to do a short film, and I bought the hat to play a character because it felt just right for what.
Wait,
we're
so
going.
You bought this hat to play a character?
Yes.
Wow.
But then it is kind of comfortable, so I've been wearing it around. But I do know that it's not I have fabric all the way around usually.
I see. Okay.
So you keep your horniness in.
Yeah, that's in my head. It's just
I mean, the fact that you bought it to play a character really adds another layer, I think.
Well, it adds a layer that I think is interesting because, so there's like a trope of like gay guys on Halloween sort of soft launching drag, where they're like, I'm doing a character, like I'm playing, like I'm going as Ariana Grande, but also there's something about I am curious about what that would be like.
I didn't know that.
Interesting.
I think there's a Halloween drag soft launch.
Okay, I've never considered that, but I'll accept it. I mean, what I will say is that because so many people end up doing really good drag, I'm like, if I want to do like a sort of half-hearted costume as a woman, I can't anymore.
No,
because I would be dragged to hell.
You are allowed. That's your soft
I can't just put on a wig and be like, oh, isn't it funny I'm being like Lady Gaga?
George,
people would
literally
start throwing heirloom tomatoes at me.
They wouldn't. Not in tomato season.
That's true. Halloween is not in tomato season.
Well, we're not. Okay.
Yes. Okay. No, I wasn't correcting you. I'm saying you're right. They wouldn't because they wouldn't be able to find heirloom tomatoes. Sure. No, that would be insane if I started correcting you about tomato season.
But I want to say that I almost feel like, do you feel this is a soft launch of a more masculine Joe Pera?
Oh.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't need to be. But if I was
the rough and rugged Joe Pera is dropping winter 2024.
You see this in the Rogan studio, not the StraightioLab studio as much. It might be an interesting artifact to kind of.
I want to know what it said. I see the word United, but it's not United Airlines.
I don't know.
But it still is jet?
It says United
Tel
Repair.
Tel Repair.
That could mean anything. And this is a vintage hat or a hat you got new?
Or designer.
Just got it.
Designer.
Designer.
Is it designer?
Yes. It's United Tel Repair.
Okay, wow. We're going to post it. I sort of think this could be like a big fashion brand could reference this and have that be like in the way that, Balenciaga did the Bernie font, but it said Balenciaga. I think maybe, I don't know, some really chic brand could be influenced by Joe Pera.
The chicest thing, because they put their brand, like the Bernie one, or they'll put their own name in the already had logo. That's cool. But the coolest thing would be if some 20-year-old hip Italian guy just started a new brand called United Tel Repair, and that was the fashion brand.
UTR. I could see that.
Sure.
Are those UTR? I'm just practicing what I would say if that was a
when
real
it's
brand.
a huge brand.
When it's a huge brand. Okay.
I actually didn't like UTR's spring summer collection this year.
Did you see the A6 UTR collab? I actually thought the color, what are they called?
The silver one was nice.
The silver one was nice. I didn't like the earth tone one. I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, what is it, 2012?
Seriously, you guys.
But then I thought,
I'm being a bitch about a fake brand.
I was thinking back, I think the only maybe gay guy that I can remember wearing a hat like this, didn't they put the guy in Bros, his love interest in hats like this and stuff?
To denote that he's sort of more masculine.
Yeah. So they were playing into the
Yeah.
But yeah, that I was like, oh yeah, maybe they did.
I actually can see a gay guy wearing
This
that hat
actually
because
does read. It gets so masculine
that it
comes back around.
it becomes gay guys wearing Carhartt.
It's literally I'm
and
wearing
painter
like a
pants.
real camo shirt.
Camo shirt.
Like,
Wait,
try
let's
it
see
on,
what Sam
Sam.
will look like.
I bet I'll look unfortunately hot as hell.
Whoa.
What's up?
This is crazy. I'm fully erect.
So I've actually wanted to pull off. I have like a hat like this, but it's brown and says Chevy on the front.
Oh.
And the way that if I wore it, it would almost be too erotic, I think.
But I think Chevy is like, what I like about this is that it's an unknown brand.
Yeah.
And it seems
Chevy's
so
a
like,
lot
oh
of
yeah, it's my dad's company. Whereas Chevy, you're trying so hard. It's like wearing a t-shirt that's like, enjoy Coca-Cola.
Of course. It would have to get like faded and run over by a car a couple times or something before I could pull it off.
Yeah, you could have a Larry David moment too, where you're like wearing it for style, and then you walk by the auto worker picket line, and they're like, "No, get out of here."
I mean, the way that this actually does become a problem a lot, because I will dress like this, and then I'll like go upstate to like visit boyfriend's family, and it's like, no, you just look normal here. Like no one knows you're like having a conversation with masculinity.
You passing by someone in a tractor. Oh, sorry. I'm having a conversation with masculinity. I'm not.
And it's
I'm
really
not like
meaningful. This actually goes back to tour. When we were in the Midwest, I feel like I was seeing a lot of cargo shorts that were like people in New York are now wearing cargo shorts again in like this way. There's like third wave cargo shorts.
Yeah,
and people
totally.
in the Midwest are just wearing cargo shorts in the first way. They're not having a conversation about like, well, I'm commenting on what it was like in 2007. They are in 2007 in 2023.
The fashion loops are going too fast now that they're eating themselves. And
You literally just dress Midwestern to be cool now, but Midwestern people still dress Midwestern. So it's very complex.
Interesting.
Thoughts?
Interesting, but I mean, you grew up in Michigan, and people you grew up with for that. It feels like it's a little different for you, and like people I don't know.
I do think you're more sensitive to it or something, because I wasn't noticing it that much.
I'm not that sensitive to it. I'm really not sensitive. I don't know why. For some reason, I feel combative today, but in a way that's like fun, but also not.
I love it. I've never been this challenged before on my own podcast.
I'm not sensitive. Let's get one thing straight.
Of course, being sensitive about being sensitive is incredible. You crying and yelling. I'm not sensitive. I'm not sensitive.
Get that through your head.
I am a lot of things, but I'm not sensitive.
I'm a business person. I'm an artist, but I'm not fucking sensitive. Okay.
I know. I want things the way I want them, and if they're not like that, then I'm gonna fucking explode.
If it's a crime,
do not call me sensitive.
If it's a crime for knowing what I want, then lock me up. But not on charges of sensitivity. Thank you.
It's weird style around this building because it feels like they're still going real hard with the tech vest around here and the business guy outfits. It's gotta be interesting for walking to come to do the podcast and analyzing the Midtown style, because it feels
100%.
The Midtown style is, well, this is the thing. You have all these conversations where you're like, oh, people in the Midwest are like this, and then we're having a conversation with masculinity, and then you go to Midtown and you're like, oh, so it is just 2012. It is just like skinny khaki and Patagonia vest.
Well, it's so confusing to me when something is like called out and it's like, this has become such a trope, and it's like
someone playing the ukulele.
Death. Yeah, and then people just do it anyway. And it's like, but even the memes have like reached you, I'm sure of it. Like you have gotten them in your big mass company email as like a joke. And everyone's like, so true, that is me. And then the next day you showed up wearing the same outfit. It's shocking to me. Yeah. Honestly, it's bold.
It's bold, and it's also actually like so liberated to be like, yeah, I'm dressed like this meme.
Yeah. I think it's as brave as being gay in high school.
I mean, you're basically reclaiming. Yeah, exactly.
A lot of brave millionaires walking around outside.
A little stupid vest on.
And by the way, all these things, it's like, oh, we are months away from them coming back, and you and I walking around wearing skinny khakis and a Patagonia vest.
Of course.
Like,
I mean, the moment it will happen. like soonish.
Do you think that could be like actual trend again?
Absolutely.
For in like,
100%.
If I were to tell you 3 years ago that preppy would be back and it would be literally essentially cool to be wearing a polo, ill-fitting khakis, and a baseball hat, what would you say to me? You would probably laugh in my face and make me cry.
it is great. Polos, yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's back.
Joe, describe your personal style.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to prompting you. I can't help it.
No, I had a joke on the show. The like priest who snuck out of the seminary to trying to blend in at the local bar and grill nearby. But so somebody asked me about the shirt I wear in the special. They're like just get like the same. Land's End's got these shirts of these like they're like 70% off sales. So you get all these button downs for like.
Is this
20.
what you're wearing, Land's End? Yep, it is.
It is. Wow. Confirmed.
So, I'm not getting paid, but they're like it's like $24.99 on sale. You get it, size fits.
Well, it's a
all right.
stunning silhouette.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to.
Fits you like a glove.
They got traditional fit for the more casual.
Oh, we're
look,
talking
or
traditional fit?
I forget which one.
Yeah, did you go
this is,
slim or
but
traditional?
They're not that bad. They're pretty. They're all not. I don't. Yeah, they're all kind of the same, but it's just like, well, the shirt is good enough. If I get a new one every now and then for $25, why am I gonna bother changing it up?
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
I don't know. Your fans are probably
You're falling
gonna
into Sam's
comment real
classic
hard
trap,
on.
which is Sam. You always talk about people who think they're opting out of fashion, but they are actually making conscious choices.
This is true. It's impossible to not make a choice.
It's true. It's comfortable, reasonably priced, looks good enough, and I like. It's comfortable performing. I could wear this on stage later, which is kind of important for clothes I pick out. Just a regular pair of slacks and shirt that hopefully not distracting to an audience.
A regular pair of slacks. So what would be like a non-normal pair of slacks for you?
It's non-normative.
Maybe like a
clothing.
gay pair?
I think if I was speaking to the new trends, if I was going to wear a pair like the big baggy ones that are coming back with the pockets on the side, people might want to know, want me to address it. I don't know why. Or like bell bottoms. It's just they're coming back too, right?
They're always on the verge. It's funny. They're actually always on the verge of coming back and have never successfully come back in the truly 50 years since the 70s.
That's an amazing point.
It's really crazy. They're the only thing that refuses to actually make a full-fledged comeback.
And it's always so close.
It's
like
always so
kind of
close.
scary close.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you hear news stories about like there's actually a comet that could hit Earth.
The bell bottoms could.
The bell bottom comet. And it's like, but it's never. But so far we're fine.
Okay, that's good to know.
You know what though? I think if you started wearing bell bottoms, like it would be such a sort of out of character choice that it could really rush them back into the zeitgeist. If you filmed I know this special has already been filmed.
Yeah.
But for the next one, if you were to just wear actually from the waist up a normal Joe Pera look, and from the waist down like really fashionable and tight bell bottoms.
Well, I could get a digital
ABBA style
effects artist to kind of flare them out.
Yeah, exactly.
For the special, just enough.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, I don't know. No, it's bad that I have a version of normal, but I've been wearing the khakis shirts since high school, and maybe the cut goes in or out. But as long as my priorities are comfort, price, can I wear it on stage without it taken away from?
Yeah, can it
jokes?
transition from day to night?
Yeah, I'm like,
And of course, is it Balenciaga? Those are your comfort, price,
and is it Balenciaga?
Can I wear it on stage? And is it Balenciaga?
I got in
The
trouble.
Joe Pera
I thought for
rubric.
a while I could, like, when I was doing stand, I wore running sneakers for a while because they were comfortable, and then someone said, like, you can't wear these on dates, and maybe 2014, 2015, and I resisted for a while, but then I realized maybe I should put on a different pair of shoes, and now, lo and behold, the New Balance, the the ones with people are wearing Salomon, all the most comfortable shoes
they're back.
are acceptable to wear on dates. So I finally gave in to advice, and now they're back in. That's my fault. I should have stuck to my guns on that one.
I mean, I'm telling you, that's how I feel about polos. You basically can't throw anything out anymore because the cycles are so fast that it's just gonna come back in style in one calendar year.
Yeah.
I bet you that Zara shirt that all the gay guys wore in 2017, that's like yellow and black stripes, is gonna come back ironically within the next 2 years.
This is one of the smarter things you've ever said. I keep saying this,
I'm
but
serious.
it's true. That is genius. In the same way that like American Apparel now is kind of fun to have. It's like vintagey and like interesting.
No, it's
to be
gonna
like,
come
remember.
back.
That striped shirt will come back in a huge way.
It will be and I'm not saying this as a joke, it will be on the runway as like an ironic thing. Like it'll be like Vetements or like some like, or I don't know, some really cool brand will put it on the runway and it'll be like so uncool that it's cool, and then everyone will start wearing it.
Should I wear it on stage? Would people?
That would be big.
Because I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds like the perfect
I'm
item
gonna
for me
show
to
you.
start wearing.
I mean, the fact that you don't know what we're talking about is like, I fully understand how, but it also scares me. Where I'm like, we consume such different information.
And we're at the same places a lot of time too.
Yeah, we're coming at it from very different places, which is shocking to me.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. I probably have seen it. I just don't.
I'm trying to find like the
you've
correct.
Also seen people wear it, like
Gay-
people that we know. I feel
Gay
like
Zara stripe
that I don't want to dox right now because they might get mad at me.
2017.
But they do comedy.
Get it put on blast.
I would say this
We're
is
wearing the gay
this is
shirt.
a version of it.
Just a version of it.
This is a
There's
version
like
of it.
A famous one, but that's a version of it.
Just like imagine, there's also like this. It's like this weird cheap material. You can't ever wash it.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah, I think you should really pull that off.
I'll give it a shot.
I found it.
And I saw what I search is.
That's it.
I search gay Zara shirt. That's what.
Because everyone was wearing. It was very, very.
Well, there's
popular.
an article in the Strategist. Why are so many guys wearing this striped shirt? August 2018.
I love that this is an unpacking a fashion episode.
That would kill if I wore it for the right place. It would probably make a portion of the audience laugh so hard if I wore that. And I go, "Wow, do you like my gay Zara shirt?"
Okay.
You should actually go on tour, and that should be your opener. It's like, so what about my gay Zara shirt?
Everyone's like, huh?
Everyone's like, what?
I thought he was gonna talk about like ducks or the
Joe Pera's
serenity
new
of a
material
river.
sucks.
That'd be where the funniest jokes are when you make like 3 people in the audience laugh so hard they can't stop.
You know what's
and
crazy?
it doesn't.
I know that in my heart, and as an audience member, I know that. But then when you're on stage and that happens, it doesn't feel good.
It does not feel
No,
good to me.
Like
No.
it's just because that really is, as an audience member, that is how you feel. Like if I'm watching, I don't know, Maria Bamford, it'll be like 4 people laughing at something, and it'll be like the funniest thing ever. But if that happened to me, I'd be like, well, I guess I have to become a teacher.
Yeah, I'm giving up. There is something a tasteful bomb where you're like only sort of bombing, but also sort of succeeding is something so delicate and beautiful.
How would you, when the person doesn't almost gets through it effortlessly and it doesn't get to them on stage, or is it how?
More like where it's like, oh God, this is embarrassing. When it's dangerous. When you're like, when someone's on stage and you're like, this is funny, but it's not.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Yeah, it's like not mass appeal funny.
Yeah.
That one I like.
Yeah, is it making the comics in the room laugh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna go ahead and do that. It's gonna go ahead and be alienating to the real audience and invite the comedians in.
No, that's great. And when somebody doubles down on it, and they,
It's fun.
yeah.
Okay, back to fashion.
And I also want to, I do want to circle back to the hat in question
Oh, of course.
at some point.
I have one
because-
fashion-y thing.
Yes.
Of course. The thing I wanted to say is, in regards to the Zara shirt, is sometimes I'll be in like a normal store and I'll be like, okay, I like that shirt, but I know I can't buy it because if I like it this much, I bet 400 other gay guys are going to buy it and then it'll become the new gay guy shirt.
Right.
So I have to find something that I actually don't like that much.
Interesting.
That's an incredible
the
point.
mental gymnastics, because you're like, well, I can't, if like this just came out, this shirt, everyone's gonna have it in 1 month, and I can't be a part of the masses.
That's heavy to go shopping with that in your mind.
Oh yeah, it's war.
Is this true?
Yeah, our fucking lives suck, Joe.
You think we could just go to landsend.com and get $25 shirts? We'd be shot in the street.
And they'd be right to do so. We are a beacon of hope
we have to
for
actually,
the LGBTQ plus youth.
And also, by the way, your shirt fits you better than either of our shirts fit us. Do you think we like that? That we are intentionally going out and buying ill-fitting clothing just in case a 24-year-old could make fun of us?
No. You guys are looking sharp.
Thanks, Joe. I needed that. Not that I'm sensitive.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna sign you up. I'll put your name to the Landsend catalog mailing list. You guys get it.
Are you Landsend over LL Bean?
Yeah.
Wow.
I tried to go to LL Bean, but the clothes they're even too old men for me. They kind of
Wow.
too
Boxy,
big.
yeah.
They're boxy.
Okay, that's good to know. Because I've always been almost like instinctively LL Bean.
I'm an LL Bean stan.
Yeah.
And I actually think LL Bean has done a good job of courting, the Brooklyn-minded. They'll have stuff that has like their old vintage logo, for instance, or they'll have like colors that are a little more sort of contemporary. Whereas Landsend, but actually that's probably a reason to go to Landsend, because that is the Carhartt painter pants of the online magazine stores.
But if too many gay guys go to it, then soon they'll have like a Todd Snyder collab.
Oh my God! Yes, no, you're absolutely right. Okay,
it'll be the Landsend Vintage Collection.
We pretty much have until this
Signature.
episode comes out for you and I to pioneer Landsend in the LGBTQ plus community.
What are those red boots called? Like the bubble boots that people.
Oh yeah, totally.
What if you guys got Landsend or the LL Bean boots, except for they're like that big and they're like that large?
There should be.
I actually wish
there should be a trend where you just buy shoes that are 5 sizes too big for you, and you're just uncomfortable. In the same way that's the last frontier. In the same people do oversized pants, oversized shirts. People should start doing oversized shoes.
You ever
just looking like a clown?
You ever do that growing up? I had cousins that were kind of. I think a lot of my taste came from them. They were like 5-7 years older, and you get their hand-me-downs. They kind of dressed a little preppy, but like I remember getting a pair of Doc Martens in the 6th grade, and it was like, I gotta wear these, but they were 3 sizes too big. So for the school dance, I stuffed them with tissue and kind of like stomped around. I still thought it was cool.
Yeah, I did that, but only I was like way too old. Like I did it when I was like 17, and I would buy like thrift store shoes that I thought were cool, and they would obviously not fit, and I would like stuff them with tissue.
Yeah, maybe that is the other trend. Stuffing oversized shoes with tissue to make them more.
Stuffing your shoes with tissue is so like building a fire in the basement.
Yeah,
you're being so cast of Rent.
It's got to be the weirdest newspaper you'd choose. It's gotta be, the most local newspaper.
I really prided myself on look how crafty I am. Like, look, I can, any shoe I can make work. Look at this.
People are probably looking at you stomping around.
Fully, like 17.
You're tripping every 4 steps. You're bleeding. You're like, yeah, whatever.
My mom being like, can I please get you normal shoes? I'm like, no, I look fucking good.
Yeah, and cut to now, we're trying to find vintage army wear. God forbid we shop at Landsend.
Oh my God. The way that I see an Army Navy store and I'm like, I wonder what they have.
But you're good at finding things there.
Well, of course.
Where did you get that one?
This I got from hunting store upstate.
Nice.
By Misha's parents' house.
And there's Wolf Mountain.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty. That's
good eyes.
Thank you. I got It's a good look.
Yeah, and I'm wearing Adam Conover's strike shirt that came the day after the strike ended.
Yeah, it's amazing to show solidarity now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you guys stay in line.
You guys, seriously, now more than ever. I think we're gonna win this.
Everyone's literally working.
maybe I should say this on air. You know that Adam Conover pocketed over $500,000 from the tie-dye strike shirts.
I heard that actually.
I've heard it. I was wondering how he got his second beach
I've
house.
heard he is an executive at Netflix.
Well, he was actually playing both sides, which I thought was really smart, actually. And you have to do this if you're business minded.
He was being a little Mrs. Doubtfire about it.
He was putting on a different shirt when he would go work at Netflix.
He was putting on this shirt when he was striking, and then would go to Netflix in a suit and be like, "Can you believe these losers?"
So it was genius because either way, he would get $500,000 in cash.
Exactly. I'm sorry. I should. He was so good during the strike as bad to joke. It's just, but it's funny
It's a
good
joke.
You know, he would appreciate it.
Yeah,
because it's true.
Yeah, maybe he can come on and lie about you, and then it's even.
That's
fair.
good. Yeah.
What lie would Adam Conover make up about you? I wonder. That you're not actually from the Midwest. You are from. You're from the Upper East Side.
Yeah.
Wait, you are from Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
Wait, you said
Buffalo.
It's
okay.
so
Buffalo
far
is the
north
Midwest
that
of
it's
New York.
Midwestern.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still think if it came out that you're from the Upper East Side and went to the Gossip Girl school, that would be an incredible scandal.
Yeah, I'm in Jerry Seinfeld's building.
Yeah.
I would sneak down and look at all his cars.
You're in the building
in
from Only
basement.
Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
And you are guilty.
Your dad is a Viacom exec.
Yeah. Talk about playing both sides. He's Adam Conover's boss at Viacom.
You did like a study abroad in Buffalo, and you're like, I'm gonna make this my whole personality.
No. Grew up in Buffalo.
All right, you're being defensive.
No, I don't. No. Yeah. No, it would be funny. Can I ask, what is the coolest streaming service in LGBT?
The LGBTQ+ community.
Oh, that's a good
That's
question.
an amazing
Okay, what is the
question.
coolest streaming service in the LGBTQ+ community? I mean, I would say it used to be HBO Max before it became Max.
Yeah, but I honestly still think it's Max
You think so?
because even though it dropped the HBO, I think it's still like. I think that dropping the HBO like makes it messy in a weird way, and I also think people are like wanting to be like, well, it used to be HBO. Like, there's almost like a I know better.
Totally. It's like still calling Diddy Puff Daddy.
There's something about
Which gay
it.
people love to do, famously.
I almost said Hulu, but I was like, I actually don't think that's true. I don't think it is Hulu.
I think Hulu is...
I think Hulu is for the like liberal straight person.
Yeah. No, it's very true. Hulu is for... Ironically, Hulu is for people who love Queer Eye, even though that's on Netflix. And Netflix now is for full-on Republicans.
Yeah.
Netflix, you are red state Republican.
Yeah.
Hulu, you are like neoliberal. Sort of even now that Biden is president, you're still with her.
Yeah. If you're
Max,
you're a gay guy.
Gay guy.
On Twitter still.
Yeah. Gay guy on Twitter still, you're absolutely right. And then what about the rest of the community?
The streaming community?
No. Yeah, the streaming community.
I'm like,
Well,
what
you know,
else is there?
I think the cool queers are all doing like, we're talking Mubi, we're talking
talking
Criterion Channel,
Yeah.
we're talking
Shudder.
They're all doing the indie streaming services.
Yeah.
So that's the answer to your question.
Yeah, pretty good, right?
Yeah. No,
Yeah, that's pretty good, right?
Thanks for
Right, Joe? We're pretty good at that.
Yeah, Adam
huh?
ruins streaming.
Woo!
Woo!
No, that's a good scoop. Thank you.
What would you say is the favorite streaming service of the streak? I guess Netflix answered her own question.
Well, but let's see if he agrees.
Yeah.
That I would share it is the Paramount is now like the Yellowstone network
because of Yellowstone.
and
That's
Tulsa
actually a really
King.
good
That's
point.
a great answer.
But aren't they? Don't they? Where is RuPaul?
Paramount also.
That's a good point.
It's weird.
But
It's
RuPaul
weird
is
they're
weirdly
figuring out.
a Republican.
Oh, really?
Well, not in the literal
sort of.
sense.
Yeah, not
but-
literally.
Yeah,
No,
I don't know if we can say
he voted
that
for
exactly.
he voted for Joe Biden.
Okay, so
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, so I think I would say,
Paramount
probably
Plus.
I think Paramount Plus is a good answer.
I even
Awesome.
think the fact that Paramount Plus has Drag Race and all these things makes it even more straight because it's so business minded. It's like
Yeah.
being so
Yeah.
sort of like capitalist that you're like, yeah, sure, get something for the queers in there.
Yeah,
like
they're
more money for us.
Yeah,
hell.
they got cash.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
They can dish out.
yeah.
How watched is Yellowstone in the queer community?
I mean,
I honestly have never met a single LGBTQ plus person that watches it. I'm sure they exist. And in fact, if you do exist and you at this point are up to date on Yellowstone, email us.
I would love to know. I also, I bet you, just statistically, there's probably some woman giving an amazing performance as wife on Yellowstone, and we have no idea. Like I would know because I haven't looked into it. I bet you there's some like amazing character actress that's doing a really great work, and there are no gay people there to appreciate it. All the straight people are like, get off the screen, Sylvia.
Yeah. When will woman move?
When will woman move?
Yeah. Have you seen Yellowstone?
Just a little bit.
What do you think?
It was too much, the first episode.
Violent?
It was, the dialogue was so, I expected it to be a little bit hammy, but it was too far. Yeah. I watched some Tulsa King. I got a kick out of it because it's so over the top hammy, and just watching his face is so fascinating.
See this show I don't know at all.
The new one, Sylvester Stallone plays an
It's
Italian
the same universe
gangster.
as Yellowstone, right? Or is it not?
That's a good theory.
They have no. You know what? I might be wrong, but I know that the Yellowstone guy has created all these other shows that are like there's one with Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
It's Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford.
They're in the Yellowstone.
They're in the
spin-off,
Yellowstone
1917.
There are like at least 2 Yellowstone spinoffs.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Yellowstones.
But Tulsa King is not a Yellowstone spinoff.
It could happen. It could exist potentially.
Okay.
They haven't gone across the universes yet, but. He basically plays the guy who gets out of jail, who's Italian, who then is sent to Tulsa, Oklahoma for some reason, and kind of like bullies everybody. And then for some reason they felt a need. He gets high in the second episode. They're celebrating and like everybody's hanging out, and he talks about how he doesn't understand the world today. And of course, he goes on a pronoun rant, and he goes,
"Oh my god, I love
back in
that.
my day, we know who we were." And it's like,
damn,
yeah, that was a really bad moment. But if you want to watch his face be kind of
who plays Tulsa King?
Sylvester Stallone with all the new face work that he got.
I love that.
That's good.
It's very you should at least look up some scenes because it's fascinating.
God, I mean, talk about living in a different world. It's like the fact that while we're doing this podcast, there are people watching Sylvester Stallone rant about pronouns on Paramount Plus.
And a lot of people. Like
I would say way more than listening to this podcast.
Like significantly more.
I'm telling you, this is not sustainable. People can't keep living in these in these small worlds where they have no idea what anyone other than them is watching or seeing or doing.
So
it's not going to turn out well, I'm telling you.
More political parties and presidential candidate options, but one streaming service that everybody watches.
Yeah. Well, because everyone needs to live in the same world and to have the same set of
reality reflected back to us.
We need the same reality reflected back to us. I can't be watching, what are we watching?
We can't be having a conversation about third wave cargo shorts when some people are still on first wave cargo shorts.
Exactly.
That's literally it.
Yeah, that's literally it.
It doesn't work.
I think actually when United, what is it, Telerepair, when UTR becomes a big brand, it'll unite everyone in the same way that like a Gap or a Land's End once did. We need UTR.
We need it. Should we do our final segment?
I think. Well, Joe, any final thoughts on your hat?
The hat that you're currently wearing.
No, I hope none of your fans go at me in the comments about the Land's End stuff.
No.
They are vicious.
I find you're very worried about our fans bullying you. It's now come up a few times.
I'm doing my best with the style, but yeah.
Have you been bullied by podcast listeners before?
Let's not go there. We've all been bullied by podcast listeners.
It was the weirdest moment. I just, the Bert Kreischer clips come up sometimes on YouTube, and for some reason, him and Tom Segura, they were talking about how they were working out and, what it's like to drink 14 beers on tour, and all of a sudden, Bert Kreischer goes, "Oh my God, did you see Joe Pera's outfit the other day?" And I was like, "Gosh, I can't."
Yeah.
That was a tough time for you.
Yeah. Rogan smoking the doobies, analyzing what shoes I'm wearing on
think,
stage.
People talk about his political views. I think Fashion Corner is the most toxic part of that podcast, where they talk about the outfits that other alt comedians wear.
Yeah, I find that really problematic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry you went through that.
Yeah, it was tough.
But I think, I think it's nice that you addressed that in your special, and I think you're going to come out on top.
Yeah, and I think Bert Kreischer should host Fashion Police on E! Entertainment.
That would be good. That would be pretty good.
So, Joe, our final segment is called Shoutouts, and in this segment, we pay homage to the straight tradition of the radio shoutout. Think Z100, think you're at TRL shouting out to your squad back home. So you're going to shout out, we're all going to shout out something that we like and that's been on our mind. Do you have anything, Sam?
I do, and I think I may have done this before, but it bears repeating if I have. And actually, I've got to go gay guy mode for a second. What's up, freaks, losers, and perverts? I would like to give a huge shout out to, that's right, Lana Del Rey. It is autumn. It is fall. The leaves will be changing soon, probably by the time you are hearing this. And when it is autumn, I need some woman who's a little bit sad and a little bit wistful to be singing into my ears. And that woman is Lana Del Rey. I woke up, I had a dream about her just 2 days ago. Well, it wasn't about her, but it was about her, I was trying to get tickets to her concert in the dream, and it was actually extremely stressful trying to coordinate with 17 other people, and I woke up with her music in my head and I said, wow, it really is autumn and I am losing my mind. And since then I've been listening to nothing but Lana Del Rey. There's so much new music that I'm enjoying, but I'm not hearing it now because all I'm listening to is my girl who I once hated but now love. XOXO, Sam. Woo!
Wow, damn. We keep doing this where ours are related. Mine's also music.
Uh-oh.
Okay, what's up, boys and girls? That's right. I'm infantilizing you because I'm now your teacher, bitch. I want to give a shout out to the song If It Makes You Happy by Sheryl Crow.
Yup.
Now, this song, I have to say, I have a lot of blind spots because, as we've discussed, I spent part of my childhood not in the United States. And when our friend Edie Modica sang it at karaoke the other night, I actually didn't recognize it and looked up the lyrics to see what song it was, if you can even believe such a thing.
This is shocking.
When I tell you that since then it's been on repeat in my household, I am a Sheryl Crow stan. Obviously, I knew who Sheryl Crow was, but that song, which I believe is one of her most successful and famous songs, was not a part of my childhood. I'm singing it every day. I highly recommend the Edie Modica version that's now lost to the sands of time when she did it at karaoke. But if you can't get that, a good second option would be just Sheryl Crow on Spotify. Love Sheryl Crow. Love that she randomly dated Lance Armstrong. I think that was so cool. I think it's great that she's sort of doesn't talk too much publicly anymore, but I bet you at some point she'll do a Vegas residency out of nowhere or release maybe a dance track. And I think that would be really cool. I think she's great. I feel like she's sort of someone who brings together the bourgeoisie and the rebel, like Madonna once said. Yeah. And I also think she's someone who brings together Republicans and Democrats. And we need unity going towards 2024. And I actually think she needs to maybe stop being so silent on politics and come out and endorse Joe Biden.
It's time to make some noise.
So shout out to Sheryl Crow and shout out to If It Makes You Happy by Sheryl Crow.
Woo! I do want to add, there is Screaming Females do a cover of If It Makes You Happy that is to die for.
And I will stop talking. I've decided I was tired of covers for a while. Now I'm back on them. I want some good covers.
When they're good, they're good.
When they're good, I want some good covers. I want more people to cover If It Makes You Happy by Sheryl Crow.
Everyone should have to cover it once in their life.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Joe, whenever you're ready.
I've been reading Joe Firestone's book, Murder on Sex Island. And it was a very fun book. It was great. It was a detective story about a murder on a Love Island type show. And it's so fun. And there's a lot of Joe Firestone in it, in the disguise of the character, but it's fun to see your friend, their reflection of what they would want to do if they had a little bit. No, it was fun to see. It's just a very funny book. It's full of jokes and just a goofy book.
I can't wait.
That's an amazing shout out.
I had him read that. Yeah, I had him. So I had lunch with Joe Firestone when she had just finished writing that book, and I remember her being like, I was thinking of sending it to editors, and I talked to a couple of people, but honestly, I'm just going to self-publish it. It seems easier. I don't care that, it's not like I wanted to be some big bestseller. I'm just going to self-publish it. And I had such an instinctive, like toxic business-minded thing where I was like, no, I'll connect you to an editor. Like I was just like, no, the fact that you wrote a book called Murder on Sex Island and you're not gonna try to make it a bestseller, I was like shocked. And even recently when she's been releasing, I'm like, Joe, there's still time. There's still time. I know people at Random House. We can make this work.
It's exciting. I think doing it herself is good.
It's very cool, of course.
I have heard rumors that she's gotten people reached out about maybe doing a show or something, or a movie based on it, which I would love to see her actually in the role of the main character, who's a detective who's unhappy in their marriage and decides to become a detective on the side and is more confident and savvy. Yeah, but yeah, so I think things are, I don't know, sometimes you just gotta do it, and she did, and I'm really proud.
And that is the correct approach.
Yeah,
but we live in a capitalist society. I'm a capitalist girl.
Of course. And I think we should end there.
Yeah. Shout out to Joe Firestone.
Joe, thanks so much for doing the podcast.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me and teaching me about the streaming service. Now
everyone watch Joe Pera's new stand-up special.
And thank you for your hat.
And thank you for your hat.
We'll post a photo for everyone back home.
Oh, we're going to be posting photos of the hat. We have to remember to get photos of the hat. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
XOXO.